Hey guys, I'm Michael.
What up? I'm Tony.
Welcome to MT Podcast.
Talk show.
That's right. Damn, what the hell am I talking about?
Welcome back to MT Podcast.
Damn.
Bringing it back, boys.
No.
Run it back. Run it back.
No. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference in the video quality so far from our other videos, but I did just upgrade my phone today from the iPhone 14 Pro Max to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And the reason I had to do that is because I had it in an OtterBox case, actually the OtterBox Defender Pro case, and I don't know, how long do you think it's been? About a week, 2 weeks?
It's a little over a week.
Me and Kat were like horse playing on the bed, and we got up and somebody stepped on the phone. I think it was Kat that stepped on the phone and broke my glass. So I was on the I have Spectrum Mobile as my primary, as my carrier. So I have fucking air conditioner. Anyways, I have the plan is called the Upgrade Anytime plan. Basically, you upgrade anytime for any reason, as much as you want.
If you want to get the 15 today and then change his mind and next week get the 16, he can do that. You know.
So that's what I went and did. I upgraded my phone from the 14 Pro Max to the 16 Pro Max. I did want to get the 1 terabyte version, but they said I'd have to wait 2 or 3 days just to get it. And I'm like, well, instant gratification and all. So I just went with the 256 gig, and that's what I had for the 14 too. Eventually, I do want to get the 1 terabyte. But I also think it was more than just instant gratification. I think it was like I was really wanting to get rid of that phone. I had it for like 2 years at that point, and I was still making payments on it. I still owed $330 on the phone, and I just my overall battery percentage was at 85%. So I was ready to get something new, hopefully, also better quality. As we configure it, just looking at videos, like the videos and photos we've kind of like bullshitted and took, it looks clear.
It looks a lot better, honestly.
So, I don't really know if Apple did any major camera updates, but it seems like it's a little better in quality. Now the videos were always 4K, but I don't think they were 4K at 60 frames per second on the 14 Pro Max, and I think they're
it's
120 frames per second on the 16. So I think that's a little better. Literally double the frames.
So you guys should be able to hear us and see us a
Well,
little bit more clear.
I don't necessarily hear us, but definitely be able to see us better.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't know if you guys tuned into our live stream we did a few days ago, but that was a pretty good live stream. What do you think?
It was kind of fun. Had some people come on, joked around, had some fun with them. Got to interact with some of you guys, so it was pretty cool.
If you haven't looked at that live stream, make sure you go after this video and look at that live stream.
Go check it out.
And if you're new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Your comments fuel us to make more videos. Sometimes we might run out of topics to talk about, and your comment might spark a whole new thing, So please definitely comment and let us know what you think about this video and other videos that we put up in the future.
We want to hear from you guys. So.
Oh yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We want to talk to you. We want to be able to talk with you. We want to interact with you. And, you know, we almost want to be your best friend, your virtual best friend. So,
yeah, a lot of people on YouTube they'll say they'll interact with you guys, but a lot of them don't. So
if you go back to all of our videos, every single one of our videos,
we comment.
we have commented and heart and liked every single comment, and we have commented back, replied back to every person that has said something.
And even if we blow up tonight and, you know, gain 100,000 subscribers.
Well, we can't necessarily reply back to all those people.
Oh no, we would.
But we would try our best.
Yeah, we try our hardest. So it might be a day or two before we got to some of you guys, but we try to go through as many as we could.
Absolutely.
Because you guys are the pedestal to lift us up, you know. So appreciate y'all.
So I tell you what, y'all. I've had a crazy day today. So Cat was off today, and we went to Walmart. We did a little bit of shopping. After I got my new phone, we had to go anyways because now that our, Cat has the 15 Pro Max, and I now have the 16. But in our cars, we had to, because I had the Lightning port. Now I have the USB-C. I had to upgrade it from the USB to USB-C for a car for CarPlay, and also I had to get an OtterBox case and a screen protector. Well, we did some shopping and we saw some things, that we liked. And we got some arts and crafts stuff. Me and Kat's gonna be doing. Anyways, the arts and crafts was involved like some photos, of me and her together and stuff. Well, while we were waiting for those photos to develop at the 1 hour Walmart photo develop, we had went to the Subway restaurant that was, Subway Eat Fresh, that was inside of Walmart. And I had been seeing all the time on TV Subway advertising their foot-long nachos. Well, I go in here today and so I ordered a foot-long nachos. I'm thinking, that should be enough. That should be a decent amount. Well, I kid you not, it's a pile about this big of all it was Doritos topped with beef. Barely any beef at that. It really was like their steak and cheese beef. And then they put tomato, onion, and jalapenos and chipotle sauce on it.
Yummy.
So when I saw it was that small, I was like, "That's it? That's the foot long?" And it wasn't even in a tray like the foot long tray like they try to.
They do.
Yeah, it was just in a pile, a small pile. And where they got the Doritos from, if you've ever been to a Subway restaurant, they've got like a little rack with a bunch of chips. They literally got the chips off the rack. And it's just regular plain on Doritos. One bag equals 1 foot long of for the nachos. So anyways, when I saw it was that small, I was like, okay, let me get another one. Which ain't bad, they're like $5, so I don't know why I'm really bitching. I mean, I guess can you really expect for $5?
A lot.
But, so I got 2 of those. Well, Kat was in front of me. She got a foot-long meatball marinara sub. And the manager was, when they were making my nachos, I noticed she was spraying, I guess, bleach on that machine that freshly slices meat for you.
Meat slicer.
Yeah. So, and I didn't pay nothing attention to it. I didn't even see her wipe it off. But Kat's food got to the register first. You go slide down a little line or whatever. And, while they were, you know, sliding my food down the line or whatever, I told Kat, I was like, go ahead and pay for it, whatever, and I'll go get our drinks. Since me and Kat share the same bank account, we have Apple Pay. She paid with Apple Pay. Well, right after she paid with Apple Pay, the manager comes with this clear, like kind of like a tote kind of thing, but it was like maybe this wide, about this tall, full of water, and then on the top was bubbles. And Kat has actually got a photo of it. And I'm going to show you that photo
Here in a second.
here in just a second. So as you can see in that photo, you see her sub, you see the container, you see the bucket. If you look on top of that photo, you see the bubbles on top.
Crazy.
And there is, plain water just doesn't have bubbles in it. It just doesn't. So,
yeah, it does.
according to this manager, it did anyways.
It does. Yeah, to them it did.
Well, she was taking a rag, and Kat said that she was cleaning that meat slicer, and she was wringing the rag out right there where the checkout is, and got that water chemical mixture all over Kat's sub. I didn't see it. So, because like I said, I was over there at the fountain drink machines. I was getting mine and Kat's drink. Well, Kat had went and sit down at the table. You know, I got my Dorito nachos. Kat's got her sub. Well, she looked like she was about to cry, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are you about to cry? She's like, the stupid bitch put water and chemicals all over my sub. And I said something to her, and she said it wasn't wet. Kat picked up her sub, and underneath the sub, the table was wet where the sub had laid, where the manager has got rain water and chemicals all over Kat's sub. Well, we took it back up there. Oh, I told her, I said, you need to go up there right now and say something to her. Get her to remake your sub, because that's some bullshit. Kat was like, please don't let me do it. It's okay if I die. And I'm like, no, that's some bullshit talk. You know, that's fucked up. You can get sick, you know. Kat just didn't want to, she was embarrassed. She was, she likes to avoid conflict. Well, anyways, Kat brings the sub back up there, and the manager takes the sub and says, this is not even wet. And it says that to her coworker, and takes Kat's sub and puts it to the side. Well, she's like, well, it'd be another 30 minutes before we can make any more meatballs. Well, at that point, I looked at Kat, I was like, you want me to come up there and say something? She said, yeah. So I come up there, and the manager's at the end of the line now, because there's like 3 or 4 more customers that come in. And she's making the customer shit while she's got another coworker that's just kind of ringing people up. Well, we don't need to talk to the coworker, we need to talk to the manager. The manager at the end of the line. It should be the other way around. The regular worker should be at the end of the line making the subs, and the manager should be at the register. It only makes sense. Well, after about 15 more minutes of waiting, she's still at the end of the line. She goes, now, you said that was a meatball marinara? I said, actually, when you get a second, can I please talk with you? She rolled her eyes. This is the manager now. Rolled her eyes and huffed. When I saw that, I automatically started going into fight or flight mode. Guess which one won? Fight mode.
Flight.
Fight.
Well, you said yes, so I guess.
It's fight.
I
So I'm already getting pissed off. I'm already feeling like there's going to be a
Not
confrontation.
Michael, never.
I already feel like there's going to be a confrontation. I already feel like I'm about to pull this bitch across the counter and beat her ass. If she done made a comment and called my old lady a liar, then on top of that, want to huff and puff and roll her eyes at me.
So no free food?
So, after 13 to 15 minutes later, she finally comes to the where the register is at, and she goes, and I said, look, yeah, can we just get a refund for everything? Because I said, we'll pay for the drinks. We did drink off the drinks. I said, but can we get a refund for everything else? She said, no, just the sub. And I said, wait a second, no. I said, I've lost my appetite because you called my old lady a liar and said the sub wasn't wet. Well, the regular worker picks up the sub, and her cat's sub is just dripping to the bottom from the water cleaning chemical mixture that was on the counter.
That they swore wasn't chemicals.
And she showed the manager. So the manager didn't say nothing. She kind of like rolled her eyes. So very violently, she's pushing the damn buttons on the damn screen or whatever to give us our money back. And under her breath, she mumbled, "It's just a fucking sandwich." Her exact words, "It's just a fucking sandwich." I didn't hear it, but I saw her lips moving, but I didn't hear her say it. The cat heard what she said. I swear to God. Tony, tell these people, you better tell them how I am.
Yeah, if it would have, if it would have came to that point where he would have heard her say those words, he probably would have been in jail because he would have put his hands on her, and there would have been people trying to probably hold him back or fight off. He would have had more people on the ground. Cops would have been there, and they would have been after him. Yeah.
Well, after she had said that, she had said out loud, "Well, I'm going to need those nachos back." I'm like, "That's fine. That's totally fine. You know, you can have the nachos back." They asked, "Did you eat off them?" I said, "I literally had one chip, and not even a whole chip. It was a half a chip." So, they're like, "Okay, well, we're going to need them back." I was like, "Okay, that's fine. That's completely fine." And she gave us our money back. Well, she didn't give us the full money back. She gave us like $19 and some change when it was actually like $24, I think $25. It was $25 and change.
Well, that was for the drinks.
Yeah. But which is crazy for fucking fountain drinks.
Yeah,
Like
$3 or
almost
$4, yeah.
$6, $7 for.
It's like $3 for
Yeah.
one drink, yeah.
Anyways, y'all, I'm telling you what, that bitch would have been pummeled.
He would have been in jail tonight.
Y'all see me and Tony as we're friends. There's been like twice he's disrespected Cat. And how close have I been to yanking your ass up?
Very close.
I don't deal with that disrespecting my old lady thing.
There's been points where pretty much the couple times where he's pretty me and him like gotten in each other's faces. Mainly him coming in like getting in front of me.
And the only thing that stops me is I don't like jail. I've been to jail a couple times. I don't like it. And that's the thing that stops me is I don't like to go. I don't want to go back. It costs a lot of money to go through court.
Yep.
And I'd rather just, Cat has to be like, it's okay, or whatever, like touch me or whatever, because like when it comes to her, I don't know why, I just kind of.
He blacks out, just about.
And that's not me trying to be no fucking hero or overprotective or nothing like that. That's just when you love somebody as much as you love, as much as I love her, you guys will understand. I mean, especially that's your loved one. You're not gonna let nobody disrespect her. Or try to get one over or say some rude ass shit to someone you love. Mm-hmm. Especially Cat, because Cat's like, Kat will do everything in this world to avoid conflict. So she's very soft spoken, and when she won't defend herself because this is how she is, I have to do it for her. Now it's all, you know, it's all fun and games to Kat because she thinks it's funny. I'll get my she tells everybody, I'll get my motherfucking bulldog after you. Don't she?
Rough.
Don't she say that I'll get my
Yeah.
bulldog after you?
Yep.
But that's the day I had. And then after that, my grandma calls me and says, hey, Father's Day's this Sunday. I got $20 for you. Meet me somewhere. She said, meet me at McDonald's. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, what? She's like, meet me at McDonald's. I was like, why do you want to McDonald's use the bathroom? Because she was in Rose's. And apparently, they don't allow customers to use the bathroom. So she had to check out of Rose's, buy her what she had to buy. Then she had to go to McDonald's that was across the street.
Just use the bathroom.
She used the bathroom.
Yeah.
But she's like, hey, I got $20 for you for Father's Day or whatever. So, yeah, so she gave me $20. I explained the situation about the Subway thing to my grandmother. And she goes, that ain't right. If I was y'all, I would have sued her. When she looked at Kat, she's like, hey, Miss Kat, how you doing?
That's funny.
Just to get Kat's reaction about the Subway thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like to antagonize Kat, but it was just kind of like Kat would have been. Kat actually said something like it was. She's like it was a nightmare.
Yep.
But like yeah, Subway tried to officially poison Kat tonight. Well, I don't even know what kind of industrial cleaning supplies they had, but.
If you work at Subway, please don't put water and chemicals on our sandwiches.
Yes, please don't. And the thing is, me, Tony, and Kat, we go to Subway quite often.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that particular location that we went to today, but we go to Subway quite often.
Yeah.
So,
If anyone's seen this and you're like
you
a
work
manager
for
or something,
Subway.
you work in Subway, let people know and make sure that doesn't happen.
If you're a manager at Subway, I'd like to hear your opinion on what I just told you. Who was right, the customer or management? I'd like to know.
Well, see, coming from like retail stuff like that, coming out from that, technically they were in the wrong. You had there was nothing wrong with that situation. Coming from like a manager as me in that situation, there was nothing wrong with you did, because that was on them. It don't matter whether it was a little spill or a little this or that.
They still had chemicals.
It was just the fact that it got ruined. If she seen that and knew that it happened, at that point it should have said something. Said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I just spilled something on it. Let me make you a fresh one." That's what should have happened. You know, as a manager, kind of. That's what you should have stepped in and did it. I don't know how the whole money situation works with the, the ingredients and the, buying the, supplies and stuff. But when it comes like retail, different things, the company has the money to buy the stuff. They can redo it. They'll tell you that you need to be like really tight on money and stuff, but they got the money to do it. So one little sub that got ruined ain't gonna hurt Subway to death. But yeah, if there's somebody else out there in that situation, I kind of definitely like him. I'd like to know if how you guys would have handled that.
Oh yeah. See, because like I was in between them pulling that bitch across the counter and calling the police on this bitch, and she won't give me my refund. Cause we had a photo, like I said, you guys see the photo. We have the photo of the container of water that's filled at the top, and then you see the bubbles on top.
You can
Regular
see the
water
sailors
out of
right
a-
beside it.
Yeah, regular water does not have
Bubbles.
on top. It just doesn't. Even if it was just soap, You know, technically, if you was to eat food that had just regular like soap on it, it'd give you the shits, yes. But it's not right. That's still a chemical. Even if it's something as minor as just giving you diarrhea.
I found a friend.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys probably can't see, but
I'm rubbing Dixie. I promise. I'm not just sitting here just rubbing. Like, Tony, are you okay?
our dog likes to come out here with us and got kind of
Kind of
just chill
spend time with us. Yeah, hang out with us.
and chill on the porch with us.
Eat.
She likes to sniff the air. That's her favorite thing. She won't go off the porch. She'll just stand on the edge of the porch and just.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was our day. We come home. Actually, sorry. After we left there, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Elizabeth's Pizza. I don't know if it's just a local thing, but I know there's at least 2 locations in North Carolina of Elizabeth's Pizza. But the one we went to in Sanford today was packed. Me and Cal were just gonna go get pizza.
There's one in South City.
There's also one in Pittsburgh.
Oh, so there's 3. Yeah, I know there's one in South City.
But and then what is the name? I can't ever pronounce the name of the one that starts with a V, Tony.
Valenti's.
Valenti's.
I don't know where they're at. I know they're Sanford and Bass. I don't know where else.
So we went to the one, the Valenti's.
Valenti's.
Anyways, that place in Sanford, and they were packed. So we just wound up going to a local restaurant called Cafe Vesuvio, which is an Italian restaurant. We ordered this huge extra large pizza that was like $25, which was really good. We had to bring, it was so big, we had to bring half of it home. So that's going to be our midnight snack. Which, by the way, it is like 2:30. What time is it?
Nope. Oh,
2:20. Yeah. It's 2:20 in the morning. We're recording this video.
The only reason I say we're up is because we both got naps.
Yeah, we got naps.
We got like a couple hour naps.
But you had a story to say about something crazy about the guy in the battery situation.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but it was definitely something that it was enough to grab my attention. So
why are you telling the story? I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna go get me a Mountain Dew.
That's fine. So you guys know whenever you go into somewhere, you know, when you're going to a store, you're going to buy something. You know, even if you go to a place where, you know, somebody, they do like installation or something right then at the place, you know for a fact you have to pay for it up front. You know you can't just take something outside, install it, and then pay for it afterwards. Now there might be some people that do that. I do not do that because in my eyes, to the company's eyes, I'm giving away stuff before they pay for it. That's a big no. So my thing with him was the customer came in, I had a battery he wanted to install, checked it off for him, so we figured out it was bad, I was going to change it out. Well, I'm getting it all situated to bring him out and stuff, and all of a sudden he's like, alright, he's like, I'll be outside, go ahead and put it on in. He just walks right out. Doesn't say anything, he just walks right out. And I'm sitting there at the computer, and I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, you know, this guy's got to pay for this thing first. He can't just, you know, walk out. So I sat there for like 2 or 3 minutes. He's outside on the phone or something. So I walk over. One of my employees had called my name, so I went over and helped them out with something. At that point, he had just walked back in, and he's like, "Hey, is one of your guys gonna come out there and change out the battery?" And I had to stop what I was helping out with the customer, just to look back over at him and say, "Hey, I'll
you
be
didn't
with
pay
you."
for it.
Yeah, I was like, "You didn't pay for it. I'll be with you in a second." I was like, I can't just install it. I was like, I can't just put it in for free. I was like, you gotta pay for it first.
You can't just take the merchandise out of a store without paying for it first.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I told him. I've been places where certain people, even if they do installation stuff, you know, I've seen some people, they'll put it in and then they'll come back and pay for it. Now that's all, you know, that's on them, you know. But me, no. You got to pay for it before I let you walk out the door.
Oh man, you could have put the battery in. He could have like jumped in the car and took the fuck off.
Yep, pretty much. Even if he swore up and down, he won't do it. We don't know people like that.
Yeah, especially at the location you're at.
Yeah.
The AutoZone where he's located at is kind of in the hood.
It's more like the hood area. So some people you kind of gotta watch out for and stuff. Like I know, like other like retail places get like Walmart and other places, Dollar General, they get like theft and stuff. But it's like where we're at, it could be almost like a high chance of getting stuff stolen every day.
So we have how many AutoZones we got in Sanford? 2 currently.
Just 2.
We got 2 right now, but there's one currently being built.
About to be 30.
So there's one in the hood, the other one's not in the hood, and then the one that's being built now
It's off the highway.
is off the highway. So he's literally works at the only one that's in the hood.
Yep, pretty much.
So
But yeah, I mean, after a few minutes, I got the guy situated and stuff, and after I put it in for him, when I was all said and done, he crunk up his car, he got it situated, and he apologized to me. He was like, "I wasn't trying to just up and leave you." He's like, "I was just misunderstanding and all that." He's like, if you would have just said something, he's like, I would have came inside with you and paid for it. I'm like, it's common sense to know if you're buying something or getting something installed that you're going to pay for it up front. It's just you would think, but yes, that's what we get for assuming things. I don't know.
well, at my
Or
mechanic,
thinking,
at my mechanics, well, I don't know about any mechanics. I've always been to the same mechanic for forever.
the
But
one he goes to.
the one I go to, they do the work first, then you pay them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So certain
So-
people are probably used to.
Maybe that's what he was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he really did mean no harm.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't seem like he did. It was just funny. He just assumed we were going to put it in, and then he just walked it off. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. But,
By the way, guys, I forgot what I was going to say.
and
Go
on
ahead.
top of that, it's kind of funny that he had mentioned they had pizza because I had the same thing tonight.
Did you really?
Yeah, one of my coworkers, he bought pizza for us tonight. He's like, I'll buy pizza. You want some? I was like, sure. He's like, you bought me something in the past. He's like, so I'll buy dinner tonight. I was like, free food, cool. So
Where's
we
that
had
from?
Marcos.
Marcos.
He delivered. I don't know how that boy. I was like, if you want to pay that money for DoorDash, have at it. He paid extra money and
Marcos delivers.
apparently he went. I don't know. I can't remember if it did that. Or, I think he said he did DoorDash, but I figured they would deliver. But I don't know. I think he did DoorDash, and I'm like, probably could just tipped him. Probably got it a little bit cheaper. So, but yeah, we had Marcos Pizza. They're not too bad. They're pretty decent.
We have a lot of pizza places in Sanford. A lot. We have Domino's.
Papa John's.
We have got Papa John's.
Pizza
we got
Hut.
Pizza Hut.
We got
We used to
Marcos.
have a buffet place, kind of like CC's Pizza, called Pizza Inn. We got Marco's,
Yeah, the
Bubba's Pizzas and Subs,
the cafe place you guys went to.
Cafe Vesuvio,
Little Caesars.
Little Caesars. We have like a bunch of pizza places. in
Oh,
Sanford.
Elizabeth Pizza.
I don't know if I think I said that, but Elizabeth Pizza.
Yeah.
That place that starts with a V.
Valenti's.
Yeah.
Valenti. Just say that, Valenti. Be like the white person trying to speak Spanish. Valenti.
Speaking of,
Valenti's.
did you see how I texted you earlier? I said gracias, and I spelled it wrong the first time.
I didn't catch that. I
Oh.
was just like, he's just being racist.
I texted Tony. I was like, I am now a proud owner of an iPhone 16 Pro Max, and he's like, congratulations. I'm like, gracias, and I spelled it wrong, and then I had to fix my spelling.
That makes sense. I was wondering why you said it twice. I'm like,
Look at it. Look at the text. I had to fix my spelling.
Because I was wondering why you'd send it twice. Oh, gracias and then gracias.
Yeah.
This man over here trying to speak Italian. Grazie. He's like, oh wait, he's not Italian. He's Mexican. I got to think of the right way. Hold on. He was in an Italian mood after eating pizza. That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
He's like, I'm Italian now.
Yeah. No, when I text you that, I say, where was I at? What time was that?
It was like 6 something.
Let's see, where was I at around that time? I must have been. I think I dropped a cigarette. It's okay. I think I might have been at.
Never mind. It was. Oh wait. You texted me the. iPhone at 6:30.
The
You said
Gracias.
Gracias at 8.
Okay, so
Yeah, because
think
I
was
got to
at,
you. I got to you later because we got busy.
Yeah, I think I was at Cafe Vesuvio at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, he was feeling Italian. So. He's like, wait, how do I spell this again?
I had to look it up, like how to spell it.
Grassy ass.
The first time I sent it to you, I spelt it by sounding it out.
Gracias. That's why I said it like that. I was like, it's Gracias. Siri's like,
Your
what?
ass is grassy.
Siri's like, what's Gracias? Never heard of that. What's that word? Okay. Human does not.
I still need to figure out the whole Apple Intelligence thing now that I got this new phone. I don't know if it's built into.
I think it's already.
We call it Sarah, and the reason we call it Sarah instead of SIRI. Did I spell that right? SIRI.
Hey Siri, I love you. You are the wind beneath my wings.
Instead of saying SIRI for
Reasons.
we say Sarah around here, so everybody's devices don't just go off at random times and saying, "Well, what did you say?" You know, because everybody in the house has Apple products. I mean,
So the
Yeah.
phone's gonna go off, his TV's gonna go off, the alarm clock's gonna go off, his bed's gonna go off. You know, the whole house will start shaking. No, I'm kidding. No, but everything almost in here is just about Apple at this point, though.
yeah. The only product that's not Apple, I have a Dell desktop computer.
It's a sin.
Well, I can't afford fucking $3,000 for a fucking
You
Mac.
can.
Well,
It's just we
can.
won't have nowhere to live next month.
No, I'd be able to. I honestly and truly, I could afford it because like they allow you to make payments, but
It'd just be a little extra money that he's used to.
yeah,
Damn.
I don't know about that. You know, I don't know about spending that type of money. But I mean, I've been wanting one. I've been wanting I'm not sure if I
Mac.
wanted the iMac or the MacBook Pros or
Well, that's just the laptops, the
yeah.
MacBooks.
They
It'll
also
just be
have
the-
Mac. They also have Macs, which are like desktops.
Yeah, those.
Or in Mac Pros and all that expensive shit that's thousands and thousands of fucking dollars. I mean, hell, the phone I just got today is $1,119. So $1,119. Apple's just expensive. It's like luxury, you know.
Yep.
But I mean, so is a like you go buy an Android, Samsung, or whatever.
Yeah, some of those Galaxies are like about almost $1,000 too.
Yeah,
They're like $800, $900. Some of them are over $1,000. Some are just about the price of an iPhone, though.
you know, Tony didn't know this the other day until I told him.
They still don't.
I am like the biggest Apple fan there is. Like ever since the iPhone, the
That's
very
how you
first
keep
iPhone
doctors
come
alive.
out, I've been with Apple ever since then. Yes, one apple a day will keep the doctor away. Anyways, I'm the biggest Apple fan there is. And Tony didn't know this, and Tony just switched from Android to Apple like 2 years ago,
About 2.
and it was all because I convinced him to do so. And he's glad he made the switch.
It was cheap, surprisingly.
Well, he's got just the regular iPhone 14. So
Well, at the time when I switched over, I had just switched over and got my first iPhone was the 12.
oh, okay.
I had the 12 and I just switched over, and then then talking to him, I switched carriers and then upgraded because I was like, well,
Yeah,
at this
again,
point I could have upgraded to a newer phone at the time,
and Bill
it
be
was-
a lot
and
cheaper.
and Bill was cheaper.
Literally half the price.
It was half the price I was normally paying, and upgrade to a brand new phone at the time. Because at the time, the 14 I think had just came out or something,
Yeah,
like
it did.
a few months like before I did it, and I was like, well, I feel it'd be almost stupid, not to. Half the price and upgrade to brand new, yeah, might as well.
See, what's cool about Spectrum Mobile is, let's see, I think it's like $45 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
and it's even unlimited calls to Canada, Mexico, and text. So, you know, that's pretty cool. You know, and they use only Verizon towers.
Yep.
And they're proud to say that inside their store. You know, Spectrum Mobile, we only use Verizon towers. Their billboards all in the store says that. You know. And if you guys know anything about Verizon, Verizon is supposed to be like the top dog. And I think underneath Verizon would be like AT&T. But I don't know. I think AT&T and Verizon are pretty damn close.
Yeah.
I've had both carriers before, and I think they're pretty damn close. But who is old enough to remember this? You should be old enough to remember this. When it went from, was it AT&T to Verizon? When they switched over? What was it? No, it was Alltel.
Alltel. Yep.
Alltel. We went from Alltel to Verizon.
Yep.
I don't know if that's just a local thing, but I know locally here in Stanford, we were just a small town at that point. When that happened, it was a big thing. Alltel used to be not only a cell phone company, but for your home phone too, like everybody's home phone. And at that point, I think Verizon bought Alltel out, and then our local, at the time, we were very, very limited on providers for home phones. We had a company called Windstream that bought out the landline part for Alltel. And but yeah, do you remember that? Or you remember back when all that stuff happened? When
It happened back in 2008.
What? No.
So they bought them out. They bought them out for $28 million.
I mean, just because it says 20, you know, when it says 2018, that may, or 2008, sorry, that just seems like it wasn't that long ago.
The deal was closed on January 2009.
2008 would have been, let's see, how many years ago?
But they purchased Alltel in 2008. 28.1.
It's like 17 years ago? 17 years ago?
28.1 billion is when they bought them in 2008, and then they finalized it and took them over at 2009.
Type in Alltel to Alltel, or when did
That's what I did.
Alltel to Windstream. See when that was. I'm curious on that. So WIND. Alltel's landline business was
2006.
spun off and merged with Valor Communications to form Windstream in 2006. Yeah. So.
Yep. It's a spinoff, yeah.
So it says something about a merger though. So I guess Windstream was already a thing, and then they merged with Alltel.
Merged with Valor.
Alltel's landline business was spun off and merged with Valor. Okay, now it was merged with Valor Communications.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, Windstream now is still available, but it sucks. They offer home phone services and internet, but it's DSL.
I think it isn't like a cheaper option. I think it's like one of the cheapest.
Honestly, about the same price as cable,
Really?
cable internet. Yeah, but it's slower. I give you an example. I get here where I'm at now. It's Spectrum for my internet provider. I get 1,000 megabytes per second download and 35 megabytes per second upload. With Windstream, I only got 100 megabytes download, and I think it was like 10 megabytes upload. So you see the difference versus DSL and I guess it would be called cable internet or
Cable, satellite, or whatever.
cable
Like that.
internet. Yeah.
So it's almost like CenturyLink.
So I think I don't know much about that, but
CenturyLink is like
think
around Moore County area.
Windstream,
It's like,
CenturyLink is like Windstream, I believe.
it's like the lowest of the
Yeah.
slow. It's like the
But see, Spectrum is actually Charter Communication. Charter
It
Communications.
used to be Charter. I remember that.
It still is. Technically, if you
Yeah.
look at their website, it'll say Spectrum, but if you scroll way back
It
down,
says Charter.
it says Charter Communication Incorporated.
Yep, it used to be Charter, and I remember when they had just switched over. They just bought them out and switched over.
Yeah.
That was years ago. I was little.
Yeah. It's been a long time ago. It makes you feel old, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like so fucking long ago, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Half the stuff was like 20 years ago almost, and it's like it's crazy to think about that.
Yeah, 2008, that one thing about I said 2008, that was 17 years ago.
Yep. Yeah. We were little at that.
Alright.
Yep.
Let's see, 17 years from, I'm 29 now, so I was 12 years old when it
I was 11.
happened. 10 or 11. How old are you now? 20, 27?
I was 10 going on 11.
You're like, let's see, you're like a year and some change younger than me. Yeah.
Yep.
So, man, how many times am I gonna light this cigarette?
So you
See, I'm
figure
not
out you have a
smoking.
cigarette.
I'm not smoking my normal roll cigarettes, y'all. I actually went out and bought an actual pack of Marlboro Ice. And
That's why we're eating leftovers. We
uh,
spend
if you
food money.
if you look on the side, I don't know how well that's. If you can even see that, I have no idea.
Probably not.
But that says FSC, which stands for Fire Safe Cigarette. So it literally has a chemical in it that if you don't puff on it, draw on it, it literally goes out to be a fire safe cigarette. It's to prevent house fires and so forth and so on. But it's crazy the amount of fucking chemicals are in the pack of cigarettes. And think about it. Farmers, they go out and they spray that tobacco with pesticides,
Yep.
all kinds of different other chemicals. The chemicals they use to grow the shit,
Yep.
and I'm just smoking all those chemicals.
100 chemicals in the cigarettes, about 30 chemicals in the Mountain Dew, and yet he still complains about Subway messing up his order.
No, it was more of a line of disrespect to my old lady.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
I'm just being a smart ass with all the chemicals you're consuming. And he's like, one little chemical on the thing. It probably would have been just about the same. But no, I mean that situation was that's a whole different thing what I'm talking about. So that was a whole different.
Damn, that's good. Woo!
Now he's drunk and high.
See, something y'all don't know about me is a few years ago.
Addict. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm getting to that. I'm not an addict. I'm not no addict. Jesus
Not like
Christ.
that.
A few years ago, I got into a really bad car accident. Let's see, I was 18 years old, so literally like 11 years ago. I got into a really bad car accident. I wound up having 3 compression fractures in my back. Well, since then they've healed, but now I have this degeneration and those same spots where I have the compression fractures, and then I have a couple in my neck and up the top of my back. So every once in a while, the pain will get so bad, so bad. I'll go to the doctor and they'll prescribe me, some Perc 10s, like the Perc 10 325s. And if you want to know what that means, it's 10 milligrams of Percocet and 325 milligrams of ibuprofen. So I take one of them motherfuckers and I'm like, whee!
Addict.
And man, it ain't like it was when I was taking them gummies. I don't see pretty sounds and hear shapes, but it takes my pain away. But it also makes me feel high, But damn, there's some days I'm just like, because they pick on me all the time. They call me an addict. I'm like, damn, today's one of them days I feel like I need to go to the doctor, go get a Percocet. They'd be like, you fucking addict. Look at you. You addicted to Mountain Dew, you addicted to cigarettes, you addicted to drugs, you fucking addict.
Addict.
But it's not often that I go get it. I might actually go to the doctor maybe 3 or 4 times a year to get like a little 10-day script or something, you know. So it ain't like I'm, you know, nothing like that. But it's only when my pain is like super severe and I just can't stand it no more, and like over-the-counter stuff's not really easing it off, like Aleve or ibuprofen or Tylenol. But Tylenol and Aleve are definitely part of my daily consumption. You can ask Tony. I mean,
I don't think there's one day I haven't seen him take either Aleve or Tylenol.
I mean, I hurt every day, you know. So then I've got other shit like, well, I'll just tell you this. This does come into the fact of my other, what's wrong with me, but what y'all haven't known is, well, maybe I think I maybe said it in a comment before, when somebody commented on one of the videos, but me and Tony, we met. He was friends with the girl that I was dating at the time, not Kat. This was before I met Kat. This was like over 6 years ago, wasn't it?
Around there, yeah.
Turned out the bitch was crazy as fuck. And,
Nah, she was pretty normal. What's up?
Tony thought she was going to at first, and then until she tried to drag him into some shit. And he's like, oh, hell no. Anyways.
Nope, I'm done.
I was like, no. So then Tony come crawling back to me. You're right, she is crazy. Anyway, so I actually have my ACL in my knee, my right knee is completely torn, and it's not attached because the girl that I was dating at the time that Tony also was friends with. I said girl, but she was actually a woman. She was actually a mother.
She was older than us.
Yeah, she was like almost 40 years old. Like she was like 35, 32, 35.
I think 32, 31, somewhere around there.
Back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's see, I was like 22, 21. She was like 32, 35, and I was like 22, 21. Anyways, she had 2 kids, 2 girls. So she was a MILF, that's for sure. Damn, she had some good titties. That's a good pussy too to have 2 kids. Anyways, well, we were at the fair, and I jumped over a railing to go get a Trump hat. But really, what I was doing, I was impressing her. Like, yeah, look at me, you know, I'm jumping over a fucking railing like a dumbass. And I completely tore my ACL. So some days I'll move wrong. Like, if you guys know what an ACL is, it makes it basically, it's so your knee can move left and right.
Is that what you put on a pizza?
What?
I don't think it's enough.
Look up what an ACL is. Just look it up so you'll know.
Oh, I know what it is. I'm just being smart about it.
Um,
It's a tendon.
yeah,
is
it's
it
a
your
tendon in
knee
your
or is
knee.
it in your ankle?
It's in your knee.
This one, yeah.
But what it does is it allows you to shift left and right.
And if that gets torn,
So sometimes I fall on the ground, and then after I fall on the ground, I get back up. I'm hurting, throbbing pain in my knee for about a week.
yep.
But so I've got some medical conditions, and I'm fucked up. You know,
All around.
yeah, all around I'm fucked up. He's fucked up. I'm fucked up. We're all fucked up.
That's where we do YouTube.
What?
What?
What'd you say? What did you say?
I said, that's why we're doing YouTube.
But I mean,
We have nothing else better to do.
you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am on disability, and I have yet. That is the first time you guys. No, that is not what they. No, I've never told them.
Oh, yeah, no.
I am on disability, but I do have a small business with computer repair, and you know, so I make a little bit of money on the side too. Not much, but you know, I do a little bit of computer programming, a little bit of computer hardware, you know, replacing parts, you know, diagnosing failed parts or whatever, upgrading computers, motherboards, RAM, GPUs, CPUs, power supply units, you know, all that good stuff, you know, hard drives, SSD, M.2 drive, SSDs, you know, all that good stuff. I'm the man for that, so, you know, I make a little bit of money on the side, not much, but yeah, that's why I'm at home, and I bet you guys were always wondering, why is Michael all the time going out to eat? Doesn't he have a job? Yes, I do, but also I have a lot of free time because I stay at home pretty much, because I do draw disability, and it's very hard for me to work a job. Like I told you, I have compressed disc in my neck and back now, so at that point now, it's starting to, the nerves in my body will start to random misfire, and all of a sudden I'll start having sharp pains all in my legs, my feet, my arms, my knees, my head, you know, and I can't stand up for long either because those nerves will start going crazy. I'm constantly having to go like get massages and stuff like that to help alleviate my body that's swollen and yeah, so.
When did you become an engine?
What?
When did you become an engine?
An engine?
Yeah, you say your body misfires. Like, when did it become a freaking engine?
Misfire, like nerve misfires. Look it up. Look what it means. Type in nerve misfire.
That's a thing. Nerve injury,
Yes.
they call it.
But it's nerve misfires. It's random, very sharp, sometimes dull pains.
It's like spasms almost, pretty much.
Yes.
Never heard of someone call it misfires.
Well, that's what you saw. That's what popped up.
I know, but it's still weird. That's weird to me.
But every doctor I've been to, I want to do surgery on my back to fix the issue, but every doctor and surgeon I've talked to, they've all told me they can do the surgery, but
You gonna die.
not necessarily gonna die, just they think that it would work at first, but then
Fail later on.
fail later on, and then would be even worse the second go around once it came back. So I've been to pain clinics, I've been to several nerve and back spine doctors, and like I said, they pretty much all tell me the same thing. The pain is manageable through narcotics, Percocet's example. But if you want to do the surgery route, it'll temporarily fix it for 6 months, maybe even a year. And then once that pain comes back, it'll be twice as bad as it was at the beginning. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'll just manage with narcotics every once in a while. Now everybody thinks I'm a drug kid. Thanks, Tony. It's your fault.
Here we are.
It's your fault.
2 years later. Addict.
I am a Mountain Dew addict. I love Mountain Dew. God, I love Mountain Dew. I fucking love Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, if you start sponsoring people, you got to sponsor us, bro. Like, I love you. I spend so much money on you. I don't even drink water. That's all I drink is Mountain Dew. Please, we love you.
If I could show you his bank account where like it legitly would say what he bought, at least 85% of his bank account information would say purchase Mountain Dew
It doesn't.
at
It's not
such and
that
such.
bad.
Yes, it is. It would say at such and such store. You know,
It's not that bad.
they act like it's not, but it is.
Pretty much, I'll tell you this. I go through a 24-pack of Mountain Dew in about 2 days.
That doesn't make it better. That does not make the situation better.
I'm just saying. I'm just giving them a, you know.
You're like, it's not that bad, but I go through a 24-pack in 2 days.
That's not
That
bad.
doesn't. No, that's worse.
That's not that
A
bad.
normal person goes through a 24-pack maybe within a week, maybe a week and a half. Not 2 days.
No, I say a normal person might go through a 12-pack in about 3 to 4 days.
Yeah. You do double in less time.
Sometimes I can stretch it out a 24-pack to 3 days.
Addict.
But,
He's addicted to Mountain Dew.
but I'm not saying necessarily saying I'm drinking all that because me and Kat both drink off a 24-pack that'll last us 2 days. So, but I will say this: for every one Mountain Dew that Kat has had, I've had about 3 or 4. So,
A lot of Mountain Dew in this house.
yes, very much so. And that's all I drink. Every once in a while, I'll drink it. You know, I'll switch it up to a Coca-Cola or.
He'll get a sweet tea or lemonade. One of those three. Besides that, Mountain Dew.
I went fishing and I about had a fucking heat stroke, and I think I was sort of dehydrated. And I had,
Mountain Dews.
I had to go get some damn Gatorade, dude. When I went fishing last week, I was, oh my god! All of a sudden, I got dizzy. My head was pounding. Felt like I was gonna pass the fuck out. My face felt like fuzzy, like
It was nice and warm.
like
and
numb, kind of like if you ever sit on the toilet too long, your leg goes numb. My face felt like that, and I had to call it a day. I already been out in the sun though about 8 hours at that point, just kind of like fishing out in the 95-degree weather with about 85% humidity that day.
Mountain Dew didn't help.
Nope, and I had a Mountain Dew cooler full of ice and Mountain Dew.
Nothing else. There wasn't even a water bottle in sight.
Nope.
The only water was the lake that they were in front of.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, Kat being a CNA, you know, she was pretty sure that I either had a heat stroke or I was about to have a heat stroke. And when she went back to work, she talked to the nurses at her job, and they said, yeah, he was about 15 minutes from having a heat stroke. So,
You know what I just now thought about? Why don't you, like, consume some of the ice?
because I had a container of the worms, and I didn't want to cross-contaminate. I didn't want to eat, you know.
Well, I didn't say eat, but I mean, you could have stuck on, like, an ice cube or something.
But still,
To
I had
at
the
least-
container of worms, and I didn't want to. It's hard to describe.
You didn't want garlic flavored ice?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we had garlic flavored
Night crawlers.
night crawlers. It's the first time I ever fucking heard that shit. We bought it from Walmart.
It's Walmart. That's why. They have everything and anything. It's like becoming like the Lay's chips. There's so many flavors you can't keep up anymore.
And then, but I think this video's done. My name is Michael,
I'm Tony.
and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.